Minute. This is Tony Novak here to share a few points on how to stay out of tax trouble. Let's jump right in. Today is January 2nd. It's the traditional start of tax season. Gosh, it seems like it starts earlier every year, and it couldn't really start any earlier in 2024 unless we were to cut into our New Year's Day holiday. But already, the point is that the tax world is already up and going and busy. Particularly this year, it seems to be a big rash of CPA who have passed away or retired, and leaving a number of people scrambling at the last minute. That's sort of been the chatter both in my office and some of my peers. So I want to talk about getting started. This is a topic of today's Tax Minute. So where do we begin to get started? What makes sense? And I would say that for individuals, well, let me say first of all, for businesses, it means closing up the accounting books. So we're not going to dwell. We could spend days and weeks on that topic. But we're going to talk about individuals. Where do we start if we're an individual tax preparer, individual filing a tax return? One of two ways, really. There's two ways to start with a tax season. One is typically with an organizer. That's basically a file folder or a document that prompts us to get together and gather information that is needed for the tax return. It's basically a workbook. An organizer is a workbook. And I think that the majority of the professional tax preparing industry uses some type of organizer. Now, I have them and I make them available on request, but I don't use them. I much prefer the interview process, and that's partly why I say I'm, old-fashioned and inefficient. But the fact is, I think that a conversation is the place to start, to where we talk about taxes. And I guess, after some number of years, I'm pretty good at conducting that interview and getting both the information we need for the tax return as well as uncover other issues that might be financial planning or other financial or legal concerns to follow up on later. So I find that my clients much prefer simply to have a conversation to get started on the taxes. And then, of course, we're going to need some backup documentation, and I can make a list and start collecting that. So that's a place to get started. I welcome your feedback, comments, suggestions. Where are you planning on starting your tax return filing? And what do you think will generate the best results and the lowest taxes? Let me know. I'll be back tomorrow with another Tax Minute.